Good evening, good afternoon from wherever you're tuning in. Welcome back, y'all. It's your sis Moon Magic, and we're here for tea and tarot, where moods and melodies meet over tarot and beats. I got my tea here today because there's been tons of stuff blowing in the wind today here in Sacramento, so I definitely was feeling like some tea to clean out the system. And we got the tarot on deck, so we're going to dive in together and pull cards collectively, tap into our intuition, and vibe together with one another. And of course, check in and see how the vibes are. How's everyone doing? There's so much going on in the world, in our lives, with the energy as usual. You know, we had the eclipse that just passed, and we also have a lot of energy in Pisces right now. So I'm really curious how this energy is treating everyone. I see Sky the Prophet, Demon Boy up in the house. So yeah, let me know how you're all doing down below. We're going to wait for folks to kind of trickle in before we get started, and give some updates and pull some cards together, y'all. So let me see some updates for your girl over here. Yesterday, I got the honor to get to play for Flip a Beat Club. They are highlighting different women producers and women in hip-hop here in Sacramento every single week. Flip a Beat Club is a producer-based hip-hop collective here in Sacramento, club here in Sacramento, and they get together, they flip beats, we perform them live, and there's an open aux, and they highlight different producers throughout the year. It's every single week at Shady Lady. And because it's Women's Month, they are highlighting all the ladies of hip-hop. So shout out to Flip a Beat Club. Last night was so much fun, and I'm still like in the good vibes from that night and that energy. What else has been going on this week? Let's see. I think that's pretty much it. I am working, for those who are on the Patreon. I think there's a mosquito in here, y'all. Anyways, for those who are on the Patreon, I have been working on getting all of the individual readings completed on the Patreon. If you're interested in joining the Patreon, I'm going to go ahead and add the link down below. That's where I post exclusive content, and it's also where, depending on what tier you join, you get a free reading that comes with that tier, basically. For me every single month. So you can check that out at my website. It's also where you can find my music and all other kind of goodies at www.moonmagicflows.com. And I also, like always, add my Cash App and my Venmo. So if you do want to donate, please donate. If you feel called, it goes a long way. Anything you want to donate, even if it's $1, $5, all of it goes to help support me as a full-time artist who's also in school full-time. And then we're going to hop right into our reading today. But let me go ahead and add these on here. Demon Boy said, next time I'm going to showcase my beats. That's right. Yes, super dope for the Beat Club. You could just plug in. Anyone can come. It's an open format. It's super awesome. And like I said, they're showcasing a bunch of really dope, incredible women all month long. So come check it out. 8 to 11 p.m. at Shady Lady here in Sacramento. Other updates, besides the tarot readings I've been working on for the Patreon, I think that's pretty much it. I've been kind of just keeping my head down in the work, as I've been talking about here. I know that eclipse energy, I don't know about y'all, but it definitely took me out for a while. Like, the whole week leading up to the eclipse, I was just so tired and exhausted. And then it was like the next day after the eclipse, I felt so much better. But the night before, the night of, I was just extremely, extremely drained. It was definitely very exhausting energy. And it's just been an energy, I think, with everything, to really take care of yourself and really rest and take it easy, and take it day by day, and, you know, stay hydrated and, you know, those types of things, because there is a lot of fiery energy, but there's also a lot of very intuitive, emotional, and sensitive energy with all the Pisces energy happening as well. So definitely been balancing all of that here as well. And as I mentioned, I'm not too sure if we're going to continue doing this past the spring. We may end this tea and tarot sessions after March. I'm still kind of deciding how I feel about doing them on Instagram in general and whether that's the best platform for them, or whether I want to hop over to like TikTok or YouTube Live, or just keep it as something that I'll do on the Patreon during the spring and summer, and then bring it back here live for the winter, because I like being here in the live space in the winter. But the spring and summertime, as I've mentioned before, it tends to get a little difficult to continue to upkeep with it, and yeah, all the things. So, and I'm very mindful about when I pull, and my energy and my how much I'm able to fully show up, because I really care about what I'm doing. So Demon Boy said, last night the moon was super bright too. We for sure are rejuvenating our energy. Yes. Rejuvenating the energy. Yes. Spring is always the time for myself too, because my birthday is on the 20th, where everything just seems to kind of like pick up and go like super fast all the way until the fall. And I'm just so like in the physical of everything that it could be difficult to hold space in this way on a weekly basis, but we will see. I'm playing it by ear, and we'll continue to do it as there's a need for it, because I know there's also so much going on in the world, and I love being able to pull with y'all and get to vibe with y'all, and it's helpful for me, and I hope it's helpful for you all. But yeah, anyone have any updates you want to share? What's going on in your world? Let me know. If you're watching on the playback, let me know down below what's happening, what you got going on. I want to take a sip of this tea, but it's way too hot. Yeah, still way too hot. Okay, I don't see any updates, so let's go ahead and jump right into our reading for the day. So if you want to join me by getting grounded and taking some time to just, notice anything that's coming up in your body, notice how you're feeling. I know for me right now, my sinuses are going crazy. It's super windy where I'm at, so I just like kicked up all this dust all up in my eyeballs. Close your eyes if you feel comfortable. You can sit crisscross or with your legs on the, your feet touching the ground. And we're just going to take some breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Just really noticing how you feel. Continue breathing in and out on your own as you feel a comfortable pace to do. And we're going to just focus on our breath. Thanking your guides, my guides, and the divine for this space today. Asking that these messages come through with exact clarity, exactly in the way that you need most for your journey right now, making sense and being able to support you. Asking for that discernment to come in so you know which messages are for you and how they apply to your life. Asking for this time to be a sacred container protected from outside energy and distractions. And taking time to notice what's on your heart and asking for the messages to come through, to speak to that, or just being open to receive what's for your highest good. And so it is. All right, you may open your eyes. Alrighty, y'all, let's go ahead and hop into the reading. and see what the vibes are for the collective this week. Demon Boy says, I just be making pizza and music. I love that. Ooh, Ace of Rods just came out real quick. All right, y'all. I'm going to let you all vibe with the card. Let me know what you see, what you feel from this. Shout out to Kyra up in the building. I am Casper. B-Boy Supreme. Ooh. This immediately makes me think of a comic book. Just the way that it's definitely giving me superhero vibes for some reason. Which I've never really gotten from the Ace of Rods, but I'm with it. It's giving spring, definitely. Being the first of the suit, being the beginnings. It's very much about new beginnings, new fiery energy, very much Aries coded. We are going into the tail end of the Pisces energy will be in the next coming weeks, right? So we'll go into Aries season on March 20th, March 21st. This is definitely giving me that energy for sure. What else? The clouds in the back definitely stick out to me as well. And this like random little castle. I don't even know. I've never really noticed that either. On the mountain. You guys see that? The initial energy though coming through, I don't see anyone sharing anything down below. But if you get some vibes from it, let me know what y'all feel from this card. And if you're watching it on the playback, let me know as well. But the vibe that I'm getting from this card for sure is definitely about new beginnings, about energy kind of picking up, definitely this like outbursts in general, whether that be emotional or just like energetic charges, releases, is coming through as well. This is also giving very much new beginnings in different ways, new projects. This could be starting up a new project. This could be starting a new venture of some sort, starting a new relationship. This could be new friendships that are popping up in your life, and just in general, new ways of existing that are coming through with this card. Demon Boy says Castle in the Clouds, which also is the name of my first album. Ooh, is that under Sky the Prophet? Castle in the Clouds. Y'all gotta go check that out. Yeah, it definitely gives that vibes too, huh? You gotta tell me what that album represented for you. I'd love to hear about that and the symbolism. All right, let's see what else comes out. I feel like we should get a supporting card for this. What do you want to say about that? 10 of Cups. Interesting. I feel like for some folks, this might be like a time period where you're really getting to like enjoy some fruits of your labor, so to speak, or maybe it's giving me kind of just more also just like enjoying where you are in the journey is the energy that this gives me. It's like, if you go to the park on Saturday and you're with your kids and your partner and you're just like sitting under the tree and the warmth of the sun is hitting you in the spot, and it's not too hot, it's not too cold, and it's just that kind of moment where you're just like, oh, right now just feels nice. Like, I'm just so appreciative for this moment. It's giving that kind of warmth and energy of just being able to really celebrate and enjoy the moments. And it could be with family. I mean, obviously the 10 of Cups has family represented here, but it could just be in general, like this moment of acknowledging your journey, acknowledging where you are, acknowledging where you've come from, or starting something new, starting something fresh, starting something that's exciting and fulfilling. Shout out to Christian in the building. It can give that energy as well. If you are starting a new, let's say, project, artistic project or business project, and it's just starting to really like come together or just really, bring you to life and give you that fulfillment, it's giving that kind of energy as well. It could be a new relationship if we're talking about friendships or romantic relationships that, is giving you the butterflies and just feels really aligned, and, just being in that kind of rhythm of things that feels aligned and feels connected to maybe your purpose or, just who you are as a person, your character. Demon Boy said, that album I wrote with lyrics that are on my left hand now. Wanted to make an album like Idea had with his last album, which he had to write his left hand because he injured his right arm. Oh, I didn't know that. What? I did not know that about Idea. But that's super dope. Shout out to Idea. Rest in peace. R.I.P. Idea is one of my favorite rappers, as you know. I also, as you know, got him tattooed on me. Shout out to Idea Tattoos. By the Throat. Oh, really? I didn't know that about that album. That's super cool. But yeah, anyone else getting different energy from these cards, let me know. Those are the vibes that I'm getting for this, though, for sure. It's definitely also giving, like, while there might be clouds in the background, there might be unknown in the background, there might be certain things happening, whether that's in our interpersonal or external, like outside of us, situations that seem very mysterious or uncertain or cloudy or, you know, these parts that are, you know, the places that we are uncertain of, challenging. There's this kind of just a moment here of, like, it's giving that break of, you know, the break in the fog. Like, again, I keep getting the vision of, like, you sitting, you know, it's like, maybe it's also because of the weather, you know, but it's like that vision of, like, when it is kind of a not super hot, not super cold day, but, you know, it's warm enough that if you were to go out in the sun and the sun hits you in the right spot, it, like, feels good. But if you're not in the sun, it's cold. And it's just, I keep getting that vision of, especially with this here, of just, like, that light hitting you in the right spot, you know. And there's this sense of, like, momentariness about it, like non-permanence about that energy, but there's this sense of also, like, enjoying, even though it's not permanent, this moment right here, right now, for what it is, whatever that is. And so I feel like for many of us that will very much be different depending on what it is, depending on what aspect of your life this applies to. And like I said, it could come through as, like, man, just having a really nice, you know, time with your friend on a Saturday, and you're walking, you know, around the block just talking and having good conversation, and there's just this moment where you're like, man, I really am so grateful for my friend, you know, and just even though there's all these other things in the background of life that can really suck, right? It's like this moment of just really appreciating this thing in front of you, with the Ace of Rods being so out in the front. Christian says, I'm literally experiencing that weather and energy at this very moment, right? It's very much giving me spring vibes for sure. And if it's a relationship, this could be, you know, finding new romance and it just feeling, like I said, all those butterflies and that new energy. It could be older romance if you've been with someone for a while and it just feels real good and real connected and real, just getting to enjoy what you've built and having those moments where maybe you've had hardships or had difficulties, but you have this time period where you're like, man, I really do appreciate this person and everything we've been through, and those types of things as well. And if it is something like you're working on a specific project or something within your community, this could be a moment where you really get to feel that kind of sense of progress, or, you know, sense of relief for a little bit. And again, I keep saying that this energy feels very non-permanent, and I feel like that's very important, because I feel like at the forefront of this is to kind of, like, not hold on to it like, oh my gosh, this is gonna leave and I don't win, but to just enjoy it for what it is and to honor it for what it is, being not permanent in all, because obviously life has a lot of highs, ups, low, you know, all the things, highs, lows, all the things, right? And with these clouds in the background, it you know, it's a reminder that, you know, this moment here doesn't negate those things that are happening in the background, these things that are happening all around us. But it is asking us to take a moment to acknowledge what's right in front of us, and how it can be fueling, you know, in many ways to sustain us through the moments that are, you know, harder. Shout out to Indigo Queen up in the building. The Love album has officially dropped, y'all. Go check it out. Shout out to my girl Indigo Queen. We got to perform quite a couple tracks from that album yesterday at Flip a Beat Club. She did an incredible job. It was a phenomenal night, as I mentioned earlier. And if you haven't checked out the Ain't Love visual music video for that project, definitely go check it out. The video is fire. Shout out to TSE for filming that. And yeah. Alrighty. We're going to go ahead and see what advice comes through now, because that's the overall energy, which I'm loving. I'm going to skip this down and see what is the advice here. Oh, okay. We have the Five of Pentacles and we have the Two of Pentacles. Ooh. I'll give you all a moment to vibe with the cards. Let me know if you see anything that sticks out to you. Very contrasting to the energy, the main energy. You amazing indigo queen. All right, let me know what y'all see, what sticks out to you. I definitely am noticing that the Pentacles is in both of these cards. My immediate thoughts on that. The waves of the Two of Pentacles, very Piscean. We have like, was it the North Node is in Pisces right now, Mars is in Pisces, Mercury is in Pisces, the Sun is in Pisces, I think Venus is in Pisces, it's called the Pisces stellium, when there's a bunch of planets all in Pisces right now. So this time period, March 5th today specifically, there's a lot of Pisces energy, so it's definitely giving me this kind of wishy-washy in our feels energy. And then, of course, with the Five of Pentacles here, this energy is always, for me, one that connects to, like, lack or, just difficulty with allocating resources or connecting to resources, energy like that. All right, I'm going to go ahead and hop into it. All right, so first, I'm going to start with the Five of Pentacles. This came out as an advice card, which I think is really interesting for this to come out as an advice card. But I feel like it's a juxtaposition to... Is that the right word? I think that's the right word. Y'all know I be always saying words on here that I'm like, is that the right word? Anyways, juxtaposition to Ten of Cups here, where it's like, it's kind of reinforcing to me this idea of like remembering how difficult times during these positive times are, lighter times or times where you are enjoying the thing in front of you, to remind you how important it is to take that moment. We have a lot going on in the world. We have a lot going on in our personal lives. We have a lot going on in our interpersonal lives. It's very easy to be in an energy of feeling just surrounded by darkness, because there's a lot of darkness in the world. To be surrounded by this cold, and to feel out and alone, and to feel isolated, and to feel lost, and to feel uncertain, and to feel like, what's the point, and to feel this energy of doubt and fear. And I feel like those things exist, but at the same time, so do these moments here. And I feel like this duality here is being shown as an advice card to remind you of the importance of taking those moments to, pat yourself on the back. When you've done something, no matter how small it is, that, took time for you to do, that is an accomplishment of some sort, whether that's, putting out a new project, shout out to my girl in the building, or, working on just getting through the day, getting through a hard day, getting to the end of a hard day, and having that moment where, you lay down on your bed and you close your eyes, or you're drinking your hot tea and you're just, knowing that your workday is over, or that moment, like I said, where you're connecting with a friend and you're just taking that moment to really appreciate the person in front of you, because you know how difficult life is and how difficult times have been and are going to continue to be. It's like honoring those little moments of joy and allowing them to rejuvenate you and allowing them to come to the forefront for that little moment that they appear. Rather than, this can also be, rather than like blocking that. Sometimes, because you can care so much with Pisces energy here, be so connected to, personal pain, collective pain, interpersonal pain, issues, drama, hurt, things that are happening. It can take away from our ability to acknowledge and enjoy anything that's going on in our life. And I don't think we shouldn't acknowledge those things happening, because that's very real. But I also think it's important to have that balance and to allow ourselves to experience some joy as well, especially when it's moments of accomplishment or moments of like appreciating someone else in your life, or something that's connected to your purpose and deeper fulfillment, because there's always going to be good and bad in life, and it's very important, especially if you're someone who's really connected to doing inner work or spiritual work or any kind of even activism, to refill your cup and take those moments to rejuvenate your spirit and your soul, and to appreciate the things that you do have in life, to continue to fuel you onto the next journey. And this is giving that same kind of energy of where it's very confirming here that this is a moment that will not be forever, and that's okay, but to enjoy it while it lasts, and to honor it, and to not guilt yourself into saying, oh, I can't, enjoy this moment because, all these other horrible things are happening. But to say, all these other horrible things may be happening, or there has been horrible things that have happened to me in the past. There may be horrible things that will happen to me in the future. But in this moment, to kind of allow yourself to just be present in whatever it is that is bringing you joy in that moment. Because this energy is also giving me one where a lot of anxiety might be coming through as well. And again, take it as it resonates. I don't at all think this is something where you should be bypassing or not, sitting with anything that's going on, whether that's what we're talking about in the world or in our interpersonal lives. This isn't about not taking accountability or ignoring, things that are quote unquote negative, and only focusing on the positive. It's nothing like that. It's about having that balance and allowing yourself to enjoy when things do work out. Enjoy when you do have that moment of accomplishment, and to be your own biggest cheerleader in those moments, and to help yourself feel that decisiveness in a very indecisive time, in a very indecisive energy, in a very insecure type of energy, because there's a lot of insecurity within the world. And I don't mean that on like just an emotional level. I mean that on a resource level, and what's going on in the way that we are interacting with one another as human beings, that it's very important that we have those kind of moments where we are secure within ourselves, to feel connected to something deeper, feel connected to our loved ones, to feel connected to our purpose, to feel connected to our fill in the blank, so to speak. And again, take it as it resonates. But that's what this is really coming through for me. Because I see this as an energy to where you could block certain blessings by not allowing yourself to feel or experience them, because your heart is so connected to, the weight of the world, which is very real. And I definitely know I personally resonate with that a lot. And I feel like this energy is saying that both things can exist at the same time, and how one can really help to fuel us for the other and the journey ahead, and acknowledging that things will be up and down, because again, I think there's at times where we want like a conclusion, an ending to something, an answer, a solution, and there's certain things that sometimes there is no real concrete answer, and there's certain work or things that you just do hoping that it's going to, make a difference in whatever it is, whether that's working towards a certain goal that, in your heart, you're like, yeah, I'm gonna accomplish this, right? But, you're really just, in faith and in the work, right? Or whether that's working towards a collective goal and a goal within community, that is something you're pouring yourself into without necessarily knowing what that end result is. And it's kind of giving that same energy as well, knowing that regardless, we continue to show up continue to do the work, continue to, sift through all of the emotions, sift through, how you're feeling, sift through the barren wasteland, so to speak, of what is around us at times and what is happening within our personal lives. Despite the challenges, knowing that it's not always going to be like this, and knowing that it's a part of the whole, if that makes sense. And so I feel like this is coming through to really give confirmation, to allow yourself to honor when you feel these moments, and to like soak them up, and to enjoy it. It's like a sweet, savory piece of cake. And taking your time eating the sweet, savory piece of cake, instead of shaming yourself and being like, well, sugar is bad, you shouldn't eat that cake. I get it, totally get it, but sometimes, I'm not saying eat the cake every day, I'm not saying that. Sometimes though, it's like given, like, if let's say it was like a celebration, like a wedding, and you're getting married, or your best friend's getting married, and you don't eat cake all the time, and you're like, oh, I just can't eat cake, but you're like, oh, this cake looks really good. Like, allow yourself to eat the cake and enjoy it, and savor every little bite, knowing that, you're not always going to eat the cake. And there's going to be plenty of days where you say no to the cake, and plenty of days where you don't have that sweet, savory taste in your mouth, and that's okay, and that's part of life, so it's kind of giving that same kind of energy here, that balance for sure. Let's see, Vec the artist says, I need to make me another cup. I finished my peppermint. Hey, that's right, go get you another cup of tea. This one has been warming my hands, because I'm telling you, the wind went through me today. I have the gold turmeric and honey tea. That's what I've been rocking with lately. But okay, that's what I'm seeing for our general energy and the advice. Let me know what you all are seeing, what's resonating, or if there's something else that's coming through for you. As I say, tarot for me is definitely more of a collective process, and I always say there's no hierarchy in tarot, so what you all add to the reading, I think, always gives more life to the cards and the meanings. But we're going to go ahead and shuffle some oracle cards and see what else comes through. Ooh, I'm going to start with the Lenormand deck. See what comes through here. Come on. Beck the artist says, you got fresh turmeric root? No, I wish. I don't think I've ever had like a turmeric root before. Look at that. This card always be coming out. I don't think I've ever had turmeric root. I've had ginger like on the root, but not turmeric. Only the powdered version. But no, this is just a regular little tea bag. But still hitting. Okay. Mountains. I feel like this is really confirming to what I was saying about, there are a lot of challenges and a lot on our plate, a lot that's happening, a lot that can make us feel powerless at times, a lot that feels all circuming, all encompassing, like, can feel like, man, like, it's just, I don't know what to do with this, right? I don't know what to do about this. I don't know how to work towards this, whatever this is, right? Fill in the blank to as it applies to your life, right? And I feel like this card is just really confirming that as it comes through here. And let's go ahead and read it. It says the mountain card stands for a blockade, obstacles, inhibition, or frustration. In any case, either whether you're achieving a goal and it involves huge difficulties, this is about bringing a situation to a standstill, and the mountain is standing correctly. As a time factor, this card stands for something that's not going to be worked out right now. It also can feel like running into a brick wall, or having a lack of insight, or something that is holding something back. It could also be about rethinking and looking for alternatives. accepting the challenge, or being in a deadlock. Thinking about yourself and other problems without distractions, and that solutions can be found in old habits and behaviors that no longer serve you. Ooh, very eclipse coded. The city depicted on the card represents our hectic and busy life, which often does not allow us to see the important things in life, right? Like it's really given like a time period of knowing what are the important things in life. What is it like you're willing to, go to war for, so to speak? And I don't want to say that because of, what is really real with what's going on right now. But really, like, what really matters to you at the end of the day. And when life gets real, which there's a lot of situations that are happening where life could get real and is already very real for many folks already. What really matters at that time period? Is it a silly argument you had with somebody? Which, sometimes certain arguments, there's, deeper issues there. Or is it, realizing that certain things are not as serious as like the real important things in life? And when push comes to shove, it's like, what are you really willing to stand for? And who are you really willing to stand by? And what really matters to you? Is that your family? Is that your community? Is that justice? Is that, your character, your values? What are those things? And I feel like this energy is very much connected to that. And sometimes we lose sight of our values and, what is really important to us when we're pushed by, just the day in and day outs of trying to survive in the system that we live in. And that's the kind of energy that's coming through with this card, is like that reminder to contemplate, to think, to reflect on, because this Pisces energy is very reflective. It is very intuitive. It is very emotional. And again, also like really honoring what are those things that are important to you, and do you give those things your time, attention, and love and care? Or are these mountains so big and so all-encompassing that those things that really matter to you become in the background? It's also giving the energy of like, if you've ever watched, those videos where they show like a compilation of someone's life from beginning to end, and how much time we spend doing work and just surviving under capitalism, right? And, stressing and worrying about a lot of things, which understandably, because of the system that we live in. But how much of that can we stop and say, you know what, today I'm going to turn off the phone and I'm going to spend time with my wife and my daughter. Or I'm going to turn off the phone and I'm going to spend time with the divine and go take my sweet self by myself outside and walk around and, go to my front yard or go to the corner wherever some grass is in the local park. It's giving that kind of energy as well. So definitely take it again as it resonates. But that's what's coming through with this card here. So let's go ahead and pull. Oh, well, there you go. From the Threads of Fate, we got Higher Perspective, which definitely, I think, connects to all of this. Like, again, seeing things from a higher view, seeing things from, the stuff that is in your immediate concern every single day. Is it going to matter in 10 years? That's immediately what's coming to my thought right now. Is that person, is that issue, is that problem, is it going to be something you're thinking about 10 years from now? Is it something you're going to want to be thinking about 10 years from now? Is it something, like, how impactful is it? How much does it truly matter? And using that kind of to filter through what you're giving your time and attention to. So that you're making sure you can give your time and attention to the more important things in life and the more pressing, serious things that we do have, serious challenges that we have in our personal and interpersonal lives that need addressing. And sometimes we get, in the rat race or hamster wheel of issues that are not even as serious of issues as the main concerns that are really facing us today as human beings, as a society, as a global society. Because we're all so, again, all encompassed by, you know, whatever's happening in our personal lives. And that's not to water it down or say that whatever's happening isn't important. It's just kind of asking you, you know, in this moment, on your day-to-day, the things that go through your mind, to kind of ask yourself that question and see what lands for you. And even for, again, if it is stuff that is extremely important, how much do you also allow time and space to love up on the people in front of you? And is that balanced? Are you able to allow yourself to see both things and allow them to coexist in that way? To where, you know, the all the joy and the beauty isn't just zapped from your life completely. Because love is such a powerful emotion and feeling that can help us to get through so many things. And fear can be something that really takes us from being able to give and receive love, whether that's to the people around us, whether that's to a passion of ours, you know, whether that's to, you know, our neighbor, you know. Are we operating out of that love? Which that doesn't always mean nice. It doesn't always mean, you know, that there's not difficult things within that. Love can mean that you go through difficult things. But there's a certain level of, you know, compassion and, you know, grace and, you know, seeing again that higher perspective. We also have here the Angel of Psychic Ability. Love that. So you might be feeling, especially with this Pisces energy, very much connected to your intuition. You might be feeling very connected to your, you know, psychic abilities or any kind of spiritual gifts. This can definitely be heightened during this time. You might feel very much connected to spirit and those kind of realms, because Pisces is very much connected to the spiritual realms as well, and creative energy as well in general. And then let's go ahead and see the last card that's going to come out from the moon deck. We have my emotions. My emotions move through cycles and connect me to my truth. This is such a Pisces energy right here. That's hilarious. All right, I'm going to go ahead and read all of them, just so, again, I don't want to block no one's blessings. If there's any extra messages in here that, you know, stick out to you, definitely pay attention to that as I read these messages. And let's see what comes through. All right, so higher perspective. I'm going to start with the Threads of Fate card. I think it's on the back. I always be having the hardest time finding cards on this deck. In the meantime, definitely gonna plug in those new music videos, All You Need, with myself and E.G. the Beast, and Ain't Love, as I mentioned already, that has Indigo Queen. Definitely check those out after this video. Those visuals be popping. Shout out to TSE on that. Here we go. Higher perspective. I found it. Okay. As people who do their internal and spiritual work, we are less likely to be bogged down by drama or reactiveness that we know doesn't truly matter. Wow. Sorry, how on point that whole first sentence was crazy. Anyways, it says, but being human means that there are times that we can't help it. Sometimes it's easier to stay in a higher perspective and see how all the moving pieces are moving as they truly are, but sometimes life and the people around us are very good at sticking us into spaces of limited vision. This card is asking you to see whatever situation you are experiencing resistance with from a higher perspective. Wow. Whew. That felt so on point to all of the energy that was coming through in the tarot reading. Wild. Blown away by that. Okay. Next one. Angel of Psychic Ability. It says, your intuitive and psychic abilities are very strong at present and this gives you the ability to see through things. You are being urged to pay particular attention to what you sense and feel rather than what you are told or shown. Trust your instincts when you are around particular people or situations. You will instinctively know what is right for you, regardless of the statistics or how professional it is presented. If something doesn't feel right for you, then it is not. Sheesh. Big on that. Yes. Okay. Last one here. My emotions move through cycles and connect me to my truth. Cycles. We are cyclical in nature and fluctuate. We ebb and flow, rise and fall, contract and expand, and everything in between. Our cycles are a gift and carry deep and rich wisdom. Embrace your cycles and know that they inspire heightened intuition and creative genius. They also unearth buried desires, reveal where self-care is lacking, big on that too, awaken directive inquiry, and invite you to truly feel your rhythm. If you resist your essential nature, you may feel disconnected or lose touch with your ability to self-regulate. Your body informs and guides you. Pause and feel. Stagnation may be a call for change. Feeling stuck may be a sign you need to move. Weighed down with clutter may be a nudge to make space. Give yourself permission to feel your full range of emotions and your multifaceted nature. This is a key to your vitality and wisdom. Whew. These messages coming in, y'all. Yes. Okay. All of that was very confirming. I definitely think one of the biggest advices coming through that I pulled from reading these cards was to listen to your body, listen to your intuition. If there's, a certain place or a certain person or a certain thing where you're like, I don't know. Listen to that. You don't need to know. It doesn't need to logically make sense. Sometimes it's just a matter of like, there's something there. I don't know what it is yet, but trust your intuition, trust your body. Trust if you're like, man, I'm really tired and I can't seem to get myself to go to this place, oh man, I'm like 2 hours behind and, I'm really frustrated by that, but I just couldn't get my body to move faster. There may be something divine that you're being protected from. And I feel like this is look at this mosquito. Sorry. I feel like this is very confirming to really trust your intuition. Listen to your body. Listen to your, how you're feeling. Don't try to repress your emotions, especially during this Pisces time where it can be a lot, overwhelming amount of emotions for folks, and just feeling so connected to our collective grief and pain and things like that as well. This is really encouraging us to feel through those deep, Piscean waters and to allow ourselves to really listen to what those energies and those emotions are telling us. And deep dive a little bit in that way. So I hope that these messages find you in a good place. I hope that these messages help you. I want to thank you all so much for vibing with me this week and coming back to the Tea and Tarot space. We're here every Thursday, 5 to 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I want to thank your guides, my guides, and the divine for this space today. Shout out to Joey Baldwin in the house. Good to see you. Glad you made it for part of Tea and Tarot today. And I'm going to see you all next week. Take care of yourselves. Be gentle. And I will see you all then. Bye.